So here I am at Westminster Magistrates Court. I'm here at Westminster Magistrates Court because I was arrested on the 28th of November on a trumped up charge. The actual arrest took place because going backwards, on the 5th of November I was arrested illegally by the police, and my press card was ripped from me. And then a number of communications broke out. One was a number of journalists protested about the way I was treated. The NUJ leadership entered into some sort of unholy alliance with the police and attempted to make sure that I never am able to proclaim myself as a journalist. They sort of claimed for some bizarre reason that I'm not a journalist and that I was not engaging in journalistic activity, or I've never been a journalist or something like that. And in fact they were claiming that I'm some sort of right-wing conspirator. Most bizarre claim. Anyway, they seemed to have worked together, discussed together with the police authorities, and they made a decision, it seems from the emails I've received from the NUJ, that they would attempt to grab my NUJ card off me, and they did this on the 28th of November on the demonstration where I was arrested, which I'm in court for today. The arrest took place initially, they just grabbed me to the floor. Toby Young, for example, circulated the video of me being arrested, and there was a great deal of outrage about the fact that I was arrested. I was not asked anything in advance of my arrest, I was just arrested. And then they took me to Charles Street. In Charles Street was a sort of open-air detention centre where they processed people, and they claimed that the desk officer claimed that I had breached coronavirus laws in not wearing a mask. I then asked for a record of my detention so that I could challenge it, because I know they don't actually issue these fixed penalty notices when it comes down to it, because they don't want the court cases and the processes, and therefore it's just a method of illegal detention, a method to support illegal detention. At Charles Street I was de-arrested, then re-arrested when I insisted on having the documentation. When I was re-arrested, the officer asked on what charge. The desk officer said carrying a megaphone. So carrying a megaphone, I will argue in court, if it comes to any discussion about the procedure today, I will argue in court that carrying a megaphone is not a crime in Britain, not a crime even in North Korea. And past. Nevertheless, the police then took me to Wandsworth Police Station. When I got to Wandsworth Police Station, the desk officer said that they cannot detain me for coronavirus breaches, megaphone or not. They de-arrested me. The arresting officer was under pressure because he'd been told to have me detained. So then the desk officer said, search him again. So they searched me again, and they found a couple of tablets for sleep apnea, 1.5 tablets for sleep apnea. Under the CPS regulations and under Misuse of Drugs Act, you cannot carry out a quick test, in other words, a test at a police station on controlled substances, or to determine what controlled substances are, unless the defendant admits that they are a controlled substance. So if I was to say this tablet is amphetamine, and the police then would be able to go and check on their own devices inside the police station. As it happened, I did not say they were amphetamine. I said they were modafinil, which is what they are, and the police therefore were not permitted to use the police test inside their police station. Nevertheless, they did so. They also had no suspicion that I had controlled substances on me, and you're not allowed to search someone for suspicion of controlled substances if you have no suspicion that they have controlled substances. So that's also against the procedures outlined by the CPS, and therefore must be thrown out. However, I want the case to go to Crown Court, because in the Crown Court I will have access, I will have the chance to appeal for all the evidence, all the video evidence, and all the prior evidence about the police conspiracy against me in conjunction with the NUJ, undermining journalistic integrity and destroying freedom of the press in Britain. And therefore I want the whole issue of my original arrest, why they were searching for me, why they targeted me, why they picked me out, and why they framed me at the police station. Now, defeating the frame charge is not going to be very difficult. I suspect that as soon as I opt for Crown Court, the police will, well, they'll know that they're going to drop the charges. When they drop the charges, I don't know. I guess that's their bureaucratic privilege, is that they could go right up to the date, do nothing whatsoever, and then drop the charges. But I'm absolutely certain that the charges will be dropped. But it gives me an opportunity to apply to the police for all the video evidence and all the communications between the police and the NUJ and the police themselves about targeting me for arrest and harassing me both at Speaker's Corner, arresting me when I opposed Tommy Robinson speaking at Speaker's Corner, or better said, when I opposed the police action in marching Tommy Robinson into Speaker's Corner, directly in contradiction to coronavirus legislation and behaviour likely to cause a breach of the peace. As I said, I don't have any problem with Tommy Robinson speaking, but it's another thing for the police to march him in there in order to create antagonism, which I believe was directly what the policy was. To date, I've complained about this to the Independent Police Committee, Complaints Committee, but I've received no word back about this specific issue. I've taken up other issues, I've received no word back, but on the issue of the first time I was arrested around the Tommy Robinson incident at Speaker's Corner, I've not heard anything back, so I'll be pursuing that, and I'll be trying to tie the threads together, if it's at all possible, through demanding my subject access material, in other words, the publication of or the provision of all the video evidence and all the communications between the police and various authorities about my detention. I have to go into the trial now, so I'll let you know as soon as I come out. I'm certain that I have the right to opt for Crown Court, and therefore it will go to Crown Court unless they drop the charge today, which they might do. See you on the other side.